Rain hammered the Chicago streets, turning concrete into black mirrors reflecting neon signs. Olivia Carter pressed baby Emma closer to her chest, feeling her sister's body tremble through the thin blankets. For days without food. Her stomach had stopped growling hours ago, replaced by a hollow ache that made her dizzy. The restaurant glowed like a promise she couldn't keep. Golden light spilled through tall windows, illuminating people who'd never known hunger. Olivia's reflection in the glass looked like a ghost. Dirty coat. Tangled hair. Desperate eyes. She pushed the door open. Warmth hit her face like a slap. A hostess materialized, smile tight with practiced politeness. "I'm sorry, we require reservations." "Please." Olivia's voice cracked. "Do you have leftover food? Anything? My sister needs to eat." Emma's weak cry punctuated the silence. The hostess's expression softened. "Wait here." 60 seconds felt like drowning. Then footsteps. Expensive shoes on marble. Olivia looked up into the face of a man who belonged in magazines, not standing inches away. Tailored suit. Dark hair. Eyes that saw too much. "I'm Julian Ashford. You need help." It wasn't a question. "Just scraps," Olivia whispered. "Food you'd throw away." "I won't take much." "When did you last eat?" "That doesn't matter." "When?" His tone made her answer. "Thursday." Today was Monday. Something flickered across Julian's face. He gestured toward the dining room, his hand hovering near her elbow without touching. "Come. Both of you need a proper meal." "I can't pay." "I'm not asking you to." His voice dropped, became almost gentle. "Please." Pride screamed at her to refuse. But Emma whimpered, and Olivia followed. The private table felt like a stage. Emma cried louder, her face red with hunger and exhaustion. Julian sat across from them, watching with an intensity that made Olivia's skin prickle. "What's her name?" "Emma." "She's 14 months old." "And yours?" "Olivia Carter." Food arrived fast. Warm oatmeal for Emma. Roasted chicken for the table. The smell made Olivia's hands shake. She fed Emma first, watching her sister devour the food with desperate little sounds. Only then did Olivia take a bite. Heaven. Pure heaven. Julian watched them eat, his expression unreadable. Emma, satisfied and sticky-handed, reached toward him. "Duh," she babbled. Julian's face transformed. Vulnerability cracked through his controlled exterior. He extended a finger, and Emma grabbed it with surprising strength, laughing. "She likes you," Olivia said softly. "She's perfect." His voice held warmth that surprised her. "They both are." After the meal, Julian leaned forward. His eyes locked on hers. "I have a proposal. I own an apartment building not far from here. There's a vacant unit. You and Emma could stay there." Hope flared in Olivia's chest, immediately followed by suspicion. "I can't accept charity." "It's not charity. I need someone reliable to manage the building's community space. Light duties, flexible hours. The apartment comes with the position. And a salary. You're inventing a job for me. I'm solving two problems at once." He pulled out a business card, sliding it across the table. "You need housing and income. I need someone trustworthy." Olivia stared at the card. Julian Ashford. CEO. A phone number that felt like a lifeline. "Think about it," he said quietly. "But Olivia, that baby needs stability. Warmth. Safety. Regular meals." Tears burned her eyes. Emma slept peacefully in her arms for the first time in days. "Okay," she whispered. Thank you. Julian drove them through rain-slicked streets in a car that smelled like leather and expensive cologne. The apartment building was beautiful. Clean. Secure. The unit itself had 2 bedrooms, a full kitchen, furniture that looked brand new. The fridge is stocked, Julian said, showing her around. Basic necessities are in the bathroom. If you need anything, call me. He handed her another card. Their fingers brushed. Electricity shot up Olivia's arm. Julian pulled back quickly, his jaw tight. Get some rest. We'll discuss your duties tomorrow. He was at the door when Olivia found her voice. Why are you doing this? Really? Julian turned. For a moment, his mask slipped completely. Pain. Raw and bleeding. Because 5 years ago, someone helped me when I had nothing. And I was too proud to accept it. His voice went rough. She died alone in the cold. I won't let that happen again. He left before Olivia could respond. She stood in the warm apartment, holding Emma, feeling the ghost of Julian's touch on her fingers. Something about his eyes haunted her. Like he was running from something. Or toward it. Olivia locked the door and checked it twice. Then she ran a bath for Emma, watching her sister splash and laugh for the first time in months. But as steam filled the bathroom, Olivia couldn't shake the feeling that Julian Ashford's kindness came with a price she didn't yet understand. And somewhere in the building, a phone rang once before going silent. 3 weeks passed like a dream Olivia was afraid to wake from. The job Julian described was real but minimal. She organized the community space, fielded tenant questions, kept the bulletin board updated. Easy work that left her time for Emma. The salary deposited into her new bank account every Friday felt like magic. Too perfect. That's what scared her. Julian visited twice a week, always professional, always controlled. But Olivia caught him watching Emma with an expression that made her chest ache. Like he was memorizing something he couldn't keep. Tonight, he knocked at 7. Rain again, drumming against windows. I brought dinner, he said, holding up bags from an Italian place. I thought you might be tired of cooking. Emma squealed when she saw him, toddling forward on unsteady legs. Julian caught her, lifting her into his arms with practiced ease that contradicted his claim of never having children. You're good with her, Olivia said, setting the table. Too good for someone without experience. Julian's smile didn't reach his eyes. I pay attention. They ate pasta while Emma smeared sauce across her high chair. Conversation flowed easier than it should between a billionaire and a woman he'd found begging. Julian asked about her mother, and Olivia found herself talking about the cancer, the slow decay, the final goodbye in a hospital room that smelled like disinfectant and death. She made me promise to keep Emma safe, Olivia said quietly. No matter what. You're honoring that promise. Julian's voice went soft. She'd be proud. What about you? Olivia leaned forward. You said someone helped you 5 years ago. What happened? Julian's expression shuddered. Ancient history. You brought it up. I shouldn't have. Julian. Olivia reached across the table, her hand covering his. You know everything about me. I don't even know if you have family. His hand turned under hers, fingers lacing together. His touch burned. I had a sister. The words came out rough. Sarah. She was 16 when our parents died. I was 22, fresh out of college, drowning in debt. I thought I could fix everything alone. Build something. Make enough money to give her the life she deserved. What happened? I failed. Julian's grip tightened. I worked 80-hour weeks. Left her alone too much. She got involved with the wrong people. Drugs. By the time I noticed, it was too late. She overdosed in a motel room while I was closing a business deal. Olivia's throat closed. Julian, that wasn't your fault. Wasn't it? His eyes met hers, dark with old pain. A woman named Margaret found me after the funeral. She owned a small diner, barely scraping by. She offered me a job, a place to stay, asked for nothing. I refused. Too proud. Too angry. 2 weeks later, she died of a heart attack. Alone. And I realized I'd rejected the one person who saw me as human, not a project or a failure. So you built an empire, Olivia said softly. To prove you could. To punish myself. Julian's thumb traced circles on her palm. Money can't bring them back. Can't undo my mistakes. But maybe it can stop someone else from living my regrets. That's why you helped us. I helped you because when I saw you holding Emma in that restaurant, I saw Sarah. And I saw myself. And I couldn't walk away again. The air between them thickened. Julian's gaze dropped to Olivia's lips. She should pull back. Should remember the distance between their worlds. But her body leaned forward. The knock at the door shattered the moment. Julian released her hand, standing quickly. Are you expecting someone? No. Olivia opened the door to find a woman in an expensive coat, her face carefully made up, her eyes cold as January. Julian, darling. The woman's voice dripped honey and poison. There you are. I've been calling. Julian's entire body went rigid. Victoria. What are you doing here? Looking for my fiancé. Victoria's smile was a weapon. We had dinner plans. Remember? Fiancé. The word hit Olivia like a fist to the stomach. She looked at Julian, whose face had gone carefully blank. You're engaged, Olivia said flatly. It's complicated, Julian started. It's simple. Victoria stepped inside uninvited, her gaze sweeping the apartment with barely concealed disdain. Julian and I have been together for 3 years. We announced our engagement last month. Her eyes landed on Emma, then Olivia. Though I see he's been keeping himself busy with charity cases. Victoria, that's enough. Is it? Victoria's mask cracked, revealing genuine anger. You disappear for weeks, dodge my calls, and I find you playing house with some homeless girl and her baby? What exactly is going on here, Julian? This is Olivia Carter. She manages the building. How convenient. Victoria's laugh was sharp. And I suppose you hired her out of the goodness of your heart? No other motivation? Olivia's face burned. You should both leave. Olivia. Julian turned to her, something desperate in his eyes. Let me explain. Explain what? That you lied? That this whole thing has been some kind of game? Olivia picked up Emma, who'd started crying. I was stupid to think someone like you would help without an agenda. That's not true. Then what is true? Olivia's voice rose. Are you engaged or not? Julian's silence was answer enough. Get out. Olivia's hands shook. Both of you. Now. Victoria smirked, satisfied. She took Julian's arm, but he pulled away. Olivia, please. Victoria and I, it's a business arrangement. Our families, the companies, it's not real. But it exists. Olivia's eyes burned. You let me trust you. Let Emma get attached to you. And you never mentioned you had a fiancé. Because it doesn't matter. It matters to me. Olivia's voice broke. I have nothing, Julian. Nothing except Emma and whatever dignity I have left. I can't be your dirty secret. I won't. Julian took a step toward her. You're not. You could never be. Then choose. The words came out before Olivia could stop them. Her or us? Right now. The apartment went silent except for Emma's whimpering. Julian's face was agony. Olivia, it's not that simple. The merger, my company, there are thousands of jobs at stake. I didn't ask about your company. I asked about us. There is no us, Victoria interjected. There's Julian's empire and his obligations. You're a feel-good story he'll forget in a month. Julian rounded on her. Shut up, Victoria. But the damage was done. Olivia saw the truth in his eyes. The calculation. The weighing of options. She was a complication, not a choice. Get out, Olivia repeated, quieter now. I'll find another job. Another apartment. We'll be gone by the end of the week. You don't have to do that. Yes, I do. Olivia walked to the door, opening it. Thank you for the meal, Mr. Ashford. And the temporary help. But we're done here. Julian stared at her, something breaking behind his eyes. Then he nodded once, sharp and final. He left with Victoria, whose triumphant smile made Olivia want to scream. The door closed. The apartment felt bigger. Colder. Olivia sank to the floor, holding Emma, trying not to cry. But the tears came anyway, hot and bitter. She'd been stupid to trust him. Stupid to feel anything. Her phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. I'm sorry. I'll fix this. I promise. J. Olivia deleted it without responding. But 3 hours later, as she lay in bed unable to sleep, another text came through. Victoria isn't who you think she is. Meet me tomorrow. Noon. Corner of State and Madison. Come alone. If you care about Emma's safety, don't ignore this. Olivia stared at the words, her heart hammering. What did Victoria have to do with Emma's safety? And why did Olivia have the terrible feeling she'd just made the worst mistake of her life by pushing Julian away? The coffee shop at State and Madison smelled like burnt espresso and rain-soaked coats. Olivia sat near the window, Emma asleep in a stroller beside her, watching every person who passed. Noon came and went. Julian didn't appear. She was about to leave when a woman slid into the seat across from her. Not Julian. Not Victoria. Someone new. Mid-40s, sharp features, eyes that had seen too much. Olivia Carter? Who are you? Detective Lisa Chen. She flashed a badge. We need to talk about Julian Ashford. Olivia's blood went cold. Is he in trouble? That depends. Chen pulled out a tablet, swiping through photos. How much do you know about his business? Nothing. He owns real estate. He owns 43 properties across Chicago. All purchased in the last 3 years through shell companies. Chen turned the tablet toward Olivia. Notice anything? The photos showed buildings. Apartment complexes. All run down. All in poor neighborhoods. I don't understand. Julian Ashford is gentrifying low-income areas. Buying cheap, forcing out tenants, renovating, selling high. He's displaced over 2,000 families in the last year alone. The words hit like bullets. That can't be true. It's public record. Chen swiped to more photos. Families with children, holding protest signs. Elderly people being evicted. This is who your benefactor really is. Olivia's stomach twisted. Why are you telling me this? Because you're his next project. Chen leaned forward. That building you're in? He bought it 6 months ago. 30 families lived there. He evicted all but 3, offering them temporary housing while he renovates. Then the rent tripled. Everyone was priced out. The building is half empty. Exactly. And you're the face he needs. The heartwarming story. Homeless girl with baby gets saved by generous billionaire. It plays well in the media when he guts another neighborhood. Chen's voice hardened. You're not his redemption, Olivia. You're his PR campaign. I don't believe you. You don't have to. Chen stood, leaving a folder on the table. But maybe Emma deserves the truth about the man she's getting attached to. Chen left. Olivia sat frozen, staring at the folder. She opened it. Inside were newspaper clippings. Court documents. Photos of Julian at city council meetings, arguing against rent control. An email chain discussing optics management and sympathetic case studies. One email made her blood run cold. Subject: Building 847 Community Manager. Need someone photogenic, ideally with a child, preferably desperate enough not to ask questions. Make it look organic. The sender: Victoria Brennan, VP of Public Relations. The recipient: Julian Ashford. Olivia's hands shook so hard the papers scattered. Everything had been planned. The restaurant. The job. The apartment. Her. She was a prop in Julian's empire-building scheme. Olivia grabbed Emma and ran. She didn't know where she was going until she found herself outside the building that had briefly felt like home. The lobby was empty. She took the elevator to Julian's penthouse on the 20th floor. He answered on the first knock, surprise flashing across his face. Olivia. I got held up. I was about to call. Were you? She shoved past him into the penthouse. Floor-to-ceiling windows. Art that cost more than lives. Everything cold and perfect. Or were you deciding how to manage the PR disaster of your charity case, figuring out she's being used? Julian's expression shifted. What are you talking about? Don't. Olivia threw the folder at him. Papers exploded across his marble floor. A detective found me. Showed me everything. The evictions. The shell companies. The emails planning exactly how to find someone like me. Julian stared at the documents, his face going pale. Tell me it's not true, Olivia said, her voice breaking. Tell me you didn't orchestrate everything from the beginning. Silence stretched between them like a chasm. I can explain, Julian finally said. So it is true. Olivia laughed, the sound harsh. You saw a desperate girl with a baby and thought, perfect, she'll be grateful enough not to question anything. It wasn't like that. Then what was it like, Julian? Enlighten me. He ran a hand through his hair, the gesture frustrated and weary. Yes, I was looking for someone to manage the building. Yes, Victoria suggested finding someone sympathetic. But when I saw you in that restaurant, holding Emma, starving, it stopped being strategy. Convenient. It's the truth. Julian stepped toward her. I helped you because I couldn't walk away. Everything after, the time we spent together, that was real. How would I know? Olivia's eyes burned. How would I know what's real when everything started as a lie? Because I'm choosing you. Julian's voice went rough. I broke off the engagement with Victoria 2 days ago. The merger is collapsing. My board wants me out. I'm losing everything, Olivia. Everything except you. The words should have mattered. They didn't. You're losing business deals, Olivia said quietly. I lost my home. My dignity. My ability to trust. We're not the same. I know. Julian reached for her hand. Let me fix this. Let me prove it wasn't all strategy. Olivia pulled away. How? By giving me money? Another apartment? More charity disguised as employment? She picked up Emma, who'd woken and started fussing. I can't do this. I can't be with someone who sees people as investments. That's not what you are. Then what am I? Olivia's voice rose. Your redemption arc? Your second chance at saving a sister you couldn't protect? Tell me, Julian, when you look at Emma, do you see her? Or do you see Sarah? The question hung like a knife between them. Julian's face crumbled. Both, he whispered. I see both. And I see a chance to not fail again. That's what I thought. Olivia's tears finally fell. I can't be your do-over, Julian. Emma can't be your replacement sister. We're real people with real lives, not characters in your redemption story. Olivia, please. I'm leaving Chicago. The decision crystallized as she spoke. My mom had a friend in Portland. She said I could stay with her if I needed help. I should have gone months ago. Running won't solve anything. Neither will staying. Olivia walked to the door. Thank you for the meals and the temporary shelter. But Emma and I will be fine on our own. Will you? Julian's voice turned sharp. You have $43 in your bank account. No job. No references that aren't connected to me. Winter's coming. How long before you're on the streets again? The words were cruel because they were true. Olivia turned, her eyes hard. Then I'll figure it out. Like I did before you swooped in to save me. She opened the door. Goodbye, Julian. She made it to the elevator before he called out. Victoria's planning something. Olivia froze. The detective who found you, Julian continued, his voice urgent. Lisa Chen? She doesn't exist. I checked. No detective by that name works for Chicago PD. Cold spread through Olivia's chest. What? Someone wanted you to see those documents. To believe I'm the villain. Julian walked toward her, his face grave. The evictions are real. I'm not proud of my business practices. But the email about finding you? It's fake. Victoria forged it. Why would she do that? Because she knows I'm choosing you. And she'll destroy anything I care about rather than let me go. Julian's jaw tightened. 3 years ago, I built my company with money from Victoria's family. They own 40%. If we don't marry, they can force me out. Victoria doesn't love me. She loves control. Olivia's head spun. I don't know what to believe anymore. Believe this. Julian closed the distance between them, his hand cupping her face. I'm not perfect. My past is ugly. My business has hurt people. But what I feel for you is real. And I will spend every day proving it if you give me the chance. His thumb brushed away her tears. His eyes held nothing but raw honesty. Olivia wanted to believe him. God, she wanted to. But before she could respond, the elevator dinged. Victoria stepped out, flanked by 2 security guards. How touching, she said, her smile venomous. But I'm afraid this little romance is over. Julian, the board has called an emergency meeting. You're being removed as CEO, effective immediately. Her gaze slid to Olivia. And you, sweetheart, are being evicted. That apartment? It's company property. As interim CEO, I decide who stays. You can't do this, Julian growled. I already have. Victoria's smile widened. The guards will escort Olivia and her baby out within the hour. Unless. Unless what? Unless you honor our engagement. Marry me next month as planned. Save your company. Keep your precious little charity case housed. Victoria's eyes glittered. Choose, Julian. Your empire or your feelings. The penthouse went silent. Julian looked at Olivia, then at Victoria, his face a mask of controlled rage. "There's a third option," he said quietly. "Is there?" Victoria laughed. "Yes." Julian's hand found Olivia's, squeezing tight. "I choose both." And then the world exploded into chaos. Julian moved fast. Before Victoria could react, he pulled out his phone, pressing a single button. "Now," he said into it. The penthouse doors burst open. Not security guards. Police. Real ones, with badges and guns drawn. "Victoria Brennan," one officer said, "you're under arrest for fraud, forgery, and embezzlement." Victoria's face drained of color. "What? This is insane." "Is it?" Julian's voice was ice. "Tell them about the shell accounts, Victoria. The money you've been siphoning from the company for 2 years. The forged documents you used to manipulate board votes. The fake detective you hired to destroy Olivia. You can't prove any of that." "I can." Julian held up his phone. "I've been investigating you for 6 months. Every transaction. Every lie. I have everything." Victoria lunged toward him, but the officers caught her. As they dragged her away, she screamed, her composure shattered completely. "You'll regret this. My family will destroy you. You'll lose everything." The door slammed. Silence fell like ash. Olivia stared at Julian, her mind reeling. "You knew. This whole time, you knew what she was doing." "I suspected." Julian's shoulders sagged. "After I told her I was breaking off the engagement, she got desperate. I hired a private investigator. Found enough to put her away for years." "Why didn't you tell me?" "Because I needed her to think she was winning." Julian ran a hand over his face. "I had to let her play her hand completely before I could stop her. I'm sorry you got caught in it." Olivia should have felt relieved. Instead, exhaustion crashed over her like a wave. "So it's over," she said quietly. "She's gone. You saved your company. I saved you." Julian stepped closer. "That's all that matters." "Is it?" Olivia looked down at Emma, who'd somehow slept through everything. "Julian, even with Victoria gone, nothing's changed. You're still a billionaire who builds empires by displacing families. I'm still a girl who begs for food. We don't fit. We could." "How?" Olivia's voice broke. "You said your business practices have hurt people. Can you change that? Can you undo the evictions? Give those families their homes back?" Julian went quiet. The answer was written in his silence. "That's what I thought," Olivia whispered. "You're a good man, Julian. But you're also the man who built his fortune on other people's desperation. I can't love someone who does that. Even if he saved me. What if I walked away?" The words came out rough. "From all of it. The company. The money. What if I started over?" "You don't mean that." "I do." Julian's eyes burned with intensity. "I've been chasing my sister's ghost for 5 years, trying to prove I'm not the failure who let her die. But all I've done is become someone she'd hate. Someone who hurts people like she was hurt." He took Olivia's hands, his grip desperate. "You and Emma, you've shown me what matters. Not money or power or redemption. Just being present. Being real." His voice dropped. "I love you, Olivia. I'm in love with you. And I will give up everything if it means I get to be with you." The confession should have felt like victory. Instead, it felt like drowning. "Don't," Olivia said, tears streaming. "Don't make me responsible for that choice. You're not." "I am." Julian pressed his forehead to hers. "Tell me you feel nothing." Tell me these weeks meant nothing to you. If you can do that, I'll let you go. Olivia couldn't. Because she did feel something. Had felt it since that first night in the restaurant when he'd looked at Emma with such tenderness. Had felt it growing every time he smiled, every time he played with her sister, every time his hand brushed hers. She'd fallen in love with a man she couldn't have. It doesn't matter what I feel, she whispered. This can't work. Why not? Because you'll resent me. Someday you'll wake up and realize what you gave up. The empire you built. The life you earned. And you'll hate me for it. Never. You don't know that. Olivia pulled away, her decision crystallizing. I can't let you throw your life away for me. I won't. Olivia, please. I'm going to Portland. She picked up Emma, holding her close. Tonight. I already have the bus ticket. Let me drive you. Let me help you get settled. No. Olivia's voice firmed. If you come with me, I'll never be able to leave. And I have to leave, Julian. For both of us. She walked to the door. Julian didn't try to stop her this time. Just stood there, looking broken in his expensive suit in his expensive penthouse that suddenly felt like a cage. There's money in your account, he said quietly. Enough for 6 months. It's not charity. It's payment for managing the building. You earned it. Julian. Please. Let me do this one thing. Let me know you and Emma will be okay. Olivia wanted to refuse. But Emma needed stability. Needed time for her to find work, build something real. Okay, she whispered. Thank you. She opened the door. Olivia. Julian's voice stopped her one last time. If you ever need anything. If you're ever in trouble. Call me. I'll come. Always. Olivia looked back at him. At the man who'd saved her. At the man she loved. At the man she couldn't keep. Goodbye, Julian. She left before she could change her mind. The apartment took 15 minutes to pack. She'd arrived with nothing. She was leaving with barely more. Clothes for her and Emma. The small stuffed bear Julian had bought for her sister. A photo of her mother. The bus station was crowded and smelled like diesel. Emma fussed, sensing Olivia's distress. Olivia bounced her gently, whispering promises she hoped she could keep. The Portland bus boarded at 8. At 7:30, Olivia's phone rang. Unknown number. She almost didn't answer. But something made her press accept. Olivia Carter? Yes. This is Northwestern Memorial Hospital. You're listed as emergency contact for Julian Ashford. The world tilted. What happened? He's been in an accident. Car crash on I-90. He's in surgery now. Critical condition. The nurse's voice was gentle but urgent. He's asking for you. Olivia's blood turned to ice. I don't understand. He was fine 2 hours ago. Ma'am, can you come to the hospital? I'm at the bus station. I'm leaving Chicago. Please. The nurse's voice dropped. He keeps saying your name. I think he needs to know you're okay. Olivia looked at the bus. At the escape she'd planned. At the life she was trying to build. Then she looked at Emma, who was watching her with solemn eyes. I'll be there in 20 minutes, Olivia said. She grabbed Emma and ran. The hospital was a maze of white walls and antiseptic smells. A nurse led Olivia to a waiting room where a doctor stood, looking grave. Miss Carter? I'm Dr. Patel. Mr. Ashford is out of surgery, but the next 24 hours are critical. He has internal bleeding, a collapsed lung, and severe head trauma. Can I see him? He's sedated. But yes, Briefly. The ICU was silent except for the beeping of machines. Julian lay in the bed, tubes and wires connecting him to technology keeping him alive. His face was bruised, one eye swollen shut. He looked smaller than Olivia had ever seen him. She sat beside him, taking his hand. "You stubborn idiot," she whispered. "What were you doing on I-90? A nurse appeared at her elbow. "We found this in his car." She handed Olivia a plane ticket. "Portland. One way. Departing tonight at 9. Olivia's vision blurred. "He was following me. The police report says his brakes failed. The car went into a guardrail at 70 miles an hour. The nurse's face was sympathetic. "He's lucky to be alive." But Olivia knew luck had nothing to do with it. She knew exactly whose car Julian had been driving. The same luxury sedan he'd used to pick her and Emma up from the restaurant that first night. The same car Victoria had access to. And suddenly Olivia understood. The arrest had been too clean. Too perfect. Victoria wouldn't go down without one final revenge. She'd tampered with Julian's car. Tried to kill him. And Olivia had walked away, leaving him vulnerable. "I'm so sorry," Olivia whispered, gripping Julian's hand tighter. "I'm so sorry I left." Julian's fingers twitched. His lips moved, forming soundless words. Olivia leaned closer. "Stay," he breathed. "Please stay." And Olivia knew, with devastating clarity, that she'd been wrong. She couldn't run from this. From him. From the messy, complicated, impossible love that had grown between them. "I'm staying," she promised. "I'm right here. And I'm not leaving again." Julian's hand squeezed hers, barely perceptible. Then his heart monitor flatlined, and the room erupted into chaos. Medical staff swarmed the room. Olivia was pushed back, still clutching Emma, watching in horror as they worked on Julian's motionless body. The steady beep of the heart monitor had been replaced by that terrible flatline sound that echoed in Olivia's skull. "Charging," someone shouted. Julian's body jerked. Nothing. Again. Another jolt. Still nothing. Olivia couldn't breathe. Couldn't think. Emma was crying, but the sound was distant, muffled by the roaring in Olivia's ears. This couldn't be happening. Not after everything. Not now. "Come on," Dr. Patel muttered. "Come on, Julian." One more shock. One more violent jerk of Julian's body. Then the monitor beeped. Once. Twice. A rhythm returning from silence. "We got him," someone said. "Pulse is weak but steady." Olivia's knees gave out. She sank into a chair, holding Emma close, shaking so hard her teeth chattered. Dr. Patel emerged 20 minutes later, looking exhausted. "He's stable," she said. "But barely. The next 48 hours will tell us if there's lasting damage." "Can I stay with him?" "Family only." "I'm his fiancée," Olivia lied without hesitation. Dr. Patel's expression softened. "Then yes. But you'll need to keep it quiet. He needs rest." Olivia spent that night in a hard plastic chair beside Julian's bed, watching the monitors, terrified every time one of them beeped irregularly. Emma slept in her arms, oblivious to the vigil her sister was keeping. Julian didn't wake. But his hand remained warm in hers, and that was enough. By morning, Olivia had made several calls. The first was to the police, telling them about her suspicions regarding Victoria and the car. The second was to Julian's lawyer, a sharp woman named Patricia who arrived at the hospital within an hour. "If Victoria tampered with that vehicle, she'll never see daylight again," Patricia promised. "But I need you to understand something. Julian made changes to his will 3 weeks ago. If he dies, everything goes to you. The company. The properties. All of it. Olivia stared. What? He said you'd know what to do with it. That you'd make things right. Patricia pulled out documents. These are power of attorney papers. If Julian remains incapacitated, you'll have full control of his assets. He trusted you with this, Miss Carter. The weight of it crushed Olivia. I can't. I don't know anything about running a company. You know what's right and wrong. According to Julian, that's more than most CEOs can claim. Patricia left the papers on the bedside table. Think about it. For 3 days, Julian remained unconscious. Olivia stayed by his side, leaving only to care for Emma or grab food from the cafeteria. She read to him from newspapers, told him about Emma's small milestones, shared memories of her mother. And she thought about the papers Patricia had left. On the 4th morning, as pale sunlight filtered through the hospital window, Julian's eyes opened. Olivia, he croaked. She was there instantly, tears streaming down her face. You're awake. Oh God, you're awake. Emma? She's fine. Safe. Right here. Olivia held up her sister, who reached toward Julian with a delighted squeal. Julian's bruised face cracked into a smile. You stayed. Of course I stayed, you idiot. Olivia was laughing and crying simultaneously. What were you thinking, driving to Portland? Your brakes were sabotaged. You could have died. Worth it. Julian's hand found hers, his grip weak but determined. To see you one more time. Victoria's been arrested again. Attempted murder. She's not getting out this time. Good. Julian's eyes drifted to the papers on the table. Patricia came. She did. Olivia swallowed hard. Julian, I can't accept what you're trying to give me. The company, the money, it's yours. I don't want it anymore. His voice was barely above a whisper. I told you. All that matters is you and Emma. Then help me fix it. The words came out firm, clear. Don't give me your empire. Help me transform it. Those buildings you bought? Let's turn them into affordable housing. Real affordable housing. The families you displaced? Let's bring them back. Julian stared at her. That would cost millions. Tens of millions. You have tens of millions. Olivia leaned closer. You said you wanted to make things right. This is how. Not by walking away, but by staying and doing the hard work of becoming better. What if I can't? What if I'm too damaged? Then we'll figure it out together. Olivia's voice softened. I'm not asking you to be perfect, Julian. I'm asking you to try. And I'll be right there with you, pushing you, challenging you, keeping you honest. Why? Julian's eyes glistened. Why would you do that after everything I've done? Because I love you. The words came easily now. I love the man who fed a starving girl without asking for anything. I love the man who plays with my sister like she's precious. I love the man who's trying to outrun his demons even when they catch him. She brushed hair from his forehead. I don't love you despite your flaws, Julian. I love you with them. As long as you keep trying to be better. Julian pulled her down, kissing her with bruised lips, tasting like antiseptic and hope. I'll try, he promised. Every day. I swear. That's all I ask. Emma squealed, demanding attention. They broke apart, laughing, as Julian carefully took the baby into his arms. She snuggled against his chest, content. She missed you, Olivia said softly. I missed her too. Julian looked up, his eyes holding everything he felt. I missed both of you. Recovery was slow. Julian spent 2 weeks in the hospital, then another month in physical therapy. But he used that time well. With Olivia's help, he restructured his company's mission. The first building they converted was the one Olivia had lived in. They brought back the displaced families, offering them leases at their original rent with a guarantee of no increase for 5 years. The board fought him. Investors threatened to pull out. Julian's fortune shrunk by 40% in 6 months. But he was happy. Olivia took a job managing the Affordable Housing Initiative, working alongside Julian to ensure no family was pushed out of their home again. It was hard, frustrating work. There were setbacks and failures. But there were also victories. Families reunited with their communities. Children attending their old schools again. People who'd lost hope finding it restored. On a cold December evening, exactly 1 year after Julian had found Olivia in that restaurant, they stood in the apartment that had become their home. Not the penthouse. A modest 2-bedroom unit in the building they'd saved together. Emma was asleep in her room, growing bigger and brighter every day. The smell of dinner filled the air. Snow fell past the windows like a benediction. "I have something for you," Julian said, pulling a small box from his pocket. Olivia's heart jumped. "Julian. Before you panic, it's not what you think." He opened the box to reveal a key. "I bought the bookstore where you used to work. The owner was retiring. I thought maybe you'd want to run it. Make it a community space. Nothing fancy. Just books and warmth and a place for people who need somewhere to belong." Olivia stared at the key, tears blurring her vision. "You're giving me a bookstore? I'm giving you a chance to build something that's yours. Something good." Julian's voice was soft. "You gave me a second chance, Olivia. Let me give you one too." She kissed him then, deep and fierce and full of promise. "Yes," she whispered against his lips. "Yes to all of it." They stood together in their small apartment, in their imperfect life, in their hard-won happiness. Outside, Chicago sparkled with lights. Inside, Emma dreamed peaceful dreams. Julian had lost an empire but gained a family. Olivia had lost her desperation but gained herself. They'd both lost the people they'd been and found something better in the wreckage. Love born from brokenness. Redemption built on honest effort. A future shaped by choosing each other, every day, in every way that mattered. It wasn't perfect. It never would be. But it was real. And that was enough. 6 months later, Olivia stood in the bookstore on opening day, watching families browse the shelves, children sitting in reading corners, teenagers discovering new worlds in pages. Emma toddled between the stacks, her laughter bright as bells. Julian appeared in the doorway, snowflakes in his hair, a smile that reached his eyes for the first time since his sister died. "Ready to go home?" he asked. Olivia looked around at the bookstore, at the community they'd built, at her sister playing happily. "I am home," she said. And she meant it. Because home wasn't a place. It was the people you chose and the life you built together, brick by brick, choice by choice, love by stubborn love. They walked out into the Chicago winter, Emma between them, their hands linked. Behind them, the bookstore glowed with warm light. Ahead of them, the future waited. And for the first time since her mother died, since the world fell apart, since she stood outside that restaurant begging for scraps, Olivia felt something she thought she'd never feel again. Peace. The end.